to be fair, one of my, all-time favourite shows is The Office US, and there are some pretty poor episodes in that show. Generally speaking, though, I think it still holds up, even the season 8 and 9.
I think because it's a very pure show.
Yeah.
And compared to the UK Office, it's not as dark and like nihilistic with its humour, which is the beauty of the UK Office. I love it. I love how dark and miserable it is. But the US Office is more of a feel-good show.
It is.
You can come back, it reminds you of a certain time in your life.
Oh, it's so comfortable. It's such a comfort show.
Was it Andy Bernard?
Andy Bernard.
Did he say that? How do you know that you're in the good times once you... Is that the quote?
Yeah, I wish I could felt like I was in the good days while I was in.
Remember, that's it, yeah.
And that's true. And
I think the US Office is to me.
Honestly, it's been therapy for so many people, that show. Just while you're sick in bed, there's just so many hours to watch it, and it just takes you back to these characters that you all love. Yeah. And what the difference with the US Office is, like, every single person in the office is a character. With the UK one, it's just basically David Brent, Tim and Dawn, and Gareth. Yeah. And those are the 4 characters that you focus on. And you don't, you've got all these people in the background. You don't know their names. You don't really care about them. But you could list every single character.
Every side character in the US Office.
And they've all got their own personalities. And I think naturally what happens with
Stanley, Daryl.
Yeah, exactly. Phyllis, Creed, Angela.
I love Creed so much.
Creed is so good, isn't he? Yeah. I wonder if he's exactly the same in real life.
I bet you he was like, because wasn't he Creed Brown? That is the guy. So
I love it.
It's literally which I think is incredible.
I haven't seen him in anything else.
I think the interesting thing with that show is that it's no secret, and it's a cliche thing to say that it went downhill after Michael left. I mean, Goodbye Michael is one of the best episodes of television ever. So that actually gets me pretty emotional, like in its simplicity.
Oh, I cry to The Office a lot.
How meta it is, like the 989,000. Yeah, that scene. I think it was improvised.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Carell didn't know they were going to do that, which adds so much to it.
Yeah.
And like that really gets to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like after Michael left, they struggled to find a direction for the show.
Yeah.
Not that it was all awful.
Yeah.
Not dreadful, but
you felt like it definitely dropped off.
Oh, for sure. And I think no more than with Andy. I know. I can't remember if you disagreed with me about this, but
yeah, a lot of people really despise Andy at the end of the show.
Oh God.
And to an extent, I understand it. I think that's how they dealt with the Erin storyline. It just felt right for him to end up with Erin, and he did become a bit of a dickhead, and he went back to his original. But I felt it worked more than you did. I think it because he was an arsehole at the beginning. Yeah. And so for him to kind of turn back around and do a full circle is kind of it's not very satisfying, but it almost makes sense to me.
Even when Andy was an arsehole, I feel like he always went in with good intentions.
Yeah.
By the end, he was like just a petty, like jealous ex.
Yeah.
Which just wasn't him, and like so irrational. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you're not the same character.
Yeah.
Honestly, the one character who I think is like completely unharmed throughout the whole show is Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight is just consistently like fantastic.
So many people despise Pam as well.
Yeah, look, I can see why, but I don't think she's really an awful character.
Yeah.
But no, I have seen a lot of, like, since the show's ended, a lot of people saying why they hate Jim and Pam.
Yeah.
And they are frustrating characters at points, but they're kind of like, they're the audience surrogate for the show. That's what Jim always was.
Yeah, exactly.
Like navigating you through this weird world of like Dunder Mifflin with all these crazy co-workers.
I just think that show works so well because they got the casting exactly right.
Could you imagine?
Exactly right. I mean, Jim Halpert is just... John Krasinski is just built for Jim Halpert.
Or Michael Scott.
Michael Scott,
like, you can imagine anyone else.
And it's interesting because they nearly had Bob Odenkirk as Michael Scott. And I actually think that would have worked as well.
It could have worked, but not the same. I don't know if because I don't look at Bob Odenkirk and think, oh, you're a really lovable guy. Steve Carell, I want to give him a hug. Don't you?
Yes.
You want to give him a hug.
Yeah, but I think if you watch Better Call Saul, you'd have a better understanding of how Bob Odenkirk... he started at SNL, and he started from comedy and stand-up and everything, and he is I think he's got the perfect blend of subtlety and timing that Steve Carell had. But obviously, Steve Carell is just, he's just perfect for Michael Scott. He's just, and what I love about that show as well is that they just don't try to mimic. In season 1, they tried to mimic Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think it might have been Rainn Wilson on a podcast, and he was talking about how, did you notice after season 2, Michael is just a little bit more likable?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because in the first season, like especially that pilot, it's a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah, and Greg Daniels didn't want it to be like that either. Yeah. He wanted it to be the Halloween episode where Michael is trying to figure out who to fire. He wanted that to be the pilot episode.
Yeah.
But
I guess, like he probably had the network breathing down his neck. They had to make sure the show got commissioned.
Yeah.
So that's
just a shame because I think at the beginning, actually, when I watched that first episode, I was like, I'm really not going to like this. This is just shot for shot. What the hell? It's trying to be like the UK one.
Yeah.
So generally, the first season is almost an experiment, which, to be fair, there's still some great episodes in the first season, like Diversity Day, Hot Girl, the healthcare one.
That's a classic episode.
Diversity Day
is great.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really just the first episode that doesn't really work. But yeah, no, I mean, he lost a lot of weight for 40-year-old virgin between season 1 and 2. So he looks so much better looking. He got a hair transplant. Yeah. He just looks so much better.
Yeah, no, because I did notice, like, going back to the first season, his hair looks
it's more David Brent-ish. Yeah.